Hey guys, Andrew coming at you. In this next video, I'm going to answer more questions that I have received about Sweden because I think why not? That's the whole point of being here. This is the Q&A section, and in the end of this video, you can ask me questions as well, and I will try to answer them as many as I can over time because it's great. It gives me ideas for videos because there's so many things I don't think about. My location's a little bit different here from where I normally film, so I can be at my computer here and answer questions. So here's another question that I have here. What American things do you miss? This is an interesting one. I don't drive in Sweden because after your first year in Sweden, I think if you don't take the driving test, if you're non-EU, you lose your license. I could be wrong, but I'm almost 100% sure that it's not that you lose your license, but you have to take a test lately. I think it's a bit ridiculous, but that's how the rule works. Because of that, I don't drive a lot or at all here, really. So I miss driving is probably the most things I miss. I miss hot wings because I guess you can get hot wings, but man, do I really miss hot wings? That's probably a big one. I miss watching hockey games on time. Now that I'm from Pittsburgh originally, and the Penguins are playing right now, and it's really difficult to be able to check that. Football, I watch it, but like the Super Bowl, it's really annoying because it's so late at night. That's a hard thing to watch as well. So that's something that I definitely miss that I wish that I was able to get. Sometimes I think it's a bit easier for people to make friends in the States than in Sweden, so I miss that sometimes. But those would probably be the main. Obviously, I miss my family and friends back home. That's a biggie, and that's a definite thing that I do miss. But great question. Wow, that was an awesome question. Oh, what are some American things that you're surprised that you don't miss? I think that the work life in Sweden is really good. Don't people take it more relaxed here for sure. So I don't miss the stress of work. I think that coffee is usually more stressful in the States than here. Like getting a fika in Sweden, which you'll find once you come to Sweden, is really nice. So I don't miss that so much. Is there a nerd culture that's easy to be a part of in Sweden? Oh, I'm sure. I'm a gamer and I love to play video games. Um, so yeah, I think anywhere now it's cool to be nerds. I think that there's a lot of cool, especially in Europe and I know in Scandinavia, gaming conventions and other type of interests. I have never been to any of them, but I definitely consider myself to be a nerd. I love watching TV and gaming, and I've seen plenty of it. There's plenty of events. I think I've heard of NairCon that's been hosted in my city that I live. That's pretty big here with a lot of people that are into that kind of stuff. So if you're into that, that is great. Next question. Is the darkness hard to get used to? Yes. I just don't think you get used to it. I mean, I don't think people that are Swedish get used to it either. Not the case at all. So I don't see that one being a good one either. I think you're kind of lost on that one. Are Swedes really that hard to make friends with? I think if you don't share a common thing, now a thing that you can do in Sweden is pick a club or something you're even interested in. So if you play sports, go with it. If you want to sing in a choir, I recommend that. Then yeah, then we could pick. It's easier to make friends with people in Sweden if you can pick an activity. You obviously have no problem making friends with people that maybe you work with, but in everyday situations, I found, and I made a video about this. I have to start linking some of these videos, but if you go to my playlist, I have one on making friends in Sweden. It sort of tells my story on this, and then you can decide from there what you think. But yeah, that would be the case. So I hope that helps answer your questions. Let's go on to the next one here. Oh man, how do you suggest to go about apartment hunting at a distance? That's really good. It depends where you're going to live. It can be very, very difficult. Sometimes people have to rent a place outside of, secondhand, like through someone else. So that one, I'm sorry, but I don't know how I can help you with that. Unless you're going to buy an apartment, I think that's different than having a waiting list on renting. But I know there's huge waiting lists on renting apartments. Definitely. It depends on what area you're going to live in, though. I mean, obviously, you're in Stockholm. I don't know how you find an apartment because it just seems crazy right now. Unless someone's giving you an apartment or you're able to rent something secondhand. But in Sweden right now, when it comes to rentals, that seems to be a very difficult situation. So I don't know. I don't know how to answer that one for you guys. I'm really sorry about that, but that's just the case here. Let's see what the next question. Oh, where would be a good place to try and find like-minded friends, video games, comics, movies, tabletop games, arts? Oh, I think I already answered that one for you. But like I said, there's plenty of clubs you can find. Gaming, I would go to conventions and stuff and see what you could find. Comics, movies. I just think there's stuff available. It depends on the city you live in to kind of find people that are interested. Um, I'm really into running, and unfortunately, running is kind of a soul thing that you do by yourself. But like, I don't want you to feel bleak that you won't make friends. People will really want to talk to you. But yeah, you can find specific activities. I think it's important to find activities you can do with people. So I hope I answered that question. What is the culture facing Americans? I think for the most part, Swedes like Americans. Um, I think they still have a pretty positive view of us, uh, especially I think in work and everything else. I think we have a good reputation for working hard and being reliable. I hope that's still the case, and that's a really good and great thing. Um, how difficult is the time difference for communicating with family and friends? These are all awesome questions. These are things that like I don't think about, so I hope this helps. I hope I answer most of your questions here. Um, So it is difficult. I mean, I find that I talk to my family a little bit less. I talk to them mostly on weekends. It is a time zone. Like if I want to, let's say something happens and you're upset, or a great thing happens and you want to get in contact with your family, a lot of times it can be very difficult because you want to get in touch with your family. But for example, it's difficult because they're far away or they're can't answer it. For me, it's a 6 hour difference. For you in particular, it's probably going to be 8 hour difference, and you have to kind of plan around it. I have an iPhone now, which I didn't have before, and my whole family has an iPhone, so that makes it a little bit easier to at least text communicate. But I call on Saturdays and Sundays, or I have a time on Sunday where I contact some of my family. But to be honest, some Sundays you just don't want to talk. But I try to keep in touch with my family at least once a week via phone call, and sometimes it's once every 2 weeks. So, those are the questions here. So that's what I have for you as far as my Q&A, and I'm so happy to get the opportunity to try to answer these questions. What I'm going to try to do, and I need to go into more detail, is I want to actually, like I think I said this in the last video, I want to give you a Q&A, or I want to give you a top like 4 or 5 things I think will really help you when you come to Sweden that you should just know about. I just have to like think back in my head about it. But feel free to ask me as many questions as you have. The only thing I ask of you guys out there to watch this video, to enjoy this video, is if you know someone is moving to Sweden or you happen to discover this and you think it can help them, fine, like send them my channel. This isn't just because I want to get views. It just makes me feel like I have a purpose here because I don't see a lot of people on YouTube doing this. And it's such a small niche. It's not that every one of my YouTube videos is going to be on this topic. But if I can definitely help someone avoid some of the problems that I had in the beginning, that would be totally awesome. If you're new to my channel and you found it, I will, periodically talk about Sweden. There are other people out there, but the guy that I saw out there is British, and I don't think he has the same, I guess England's going to leave the EU, so maybe things will change. But I think it's a different experience when you're coming from a non-EU country in general. So interesting enough. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoy these videos. It's fun for me to make them, really. Again, if you have any questions in this one, you can feel free to ask them in the comments below. And I can't guarantee when I'll get to all the questions because life is just crazy right now. I'm training for a marathon. I work full time, and then I run a YouTube channel when I can. But I'll be happy to try to get back to you as quick as I can. Thanks, guys. Take care. Have a good one.